Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Professor Ashada.
Morning.
Good morning, Samir. Your camera is off.
Ashish, it seems that somebody has blocked my microphone. I cannot open it from here. And the video also, now somebody has opened it, but oh, can you? Okay. But there is a sort of a cross mark on it. Anyway.
Are you using Google Chrome?
That's okay. I am on iPad now, Safari.
Oh, iPad actually has a problem. You have to ensure that security.
No, but it's working fine. So it's okay. I
fine?
can,
Okay.
just that the symbols, I cannot see the symbols properly, but that's all right.
Yeah, Professor Karandikar hasn't joined. Please.
He was there 1 minute back. I think something happened in between, and then we were checked out, and then now as we are coming back, it is getting restored. But my symbols, I can already see that they are like, there is a cross mark on it. Dr. Chaudhary, good morning. I am Samir Khandekar. I think we have not met before.
Good morning.
Yeah. So I'm from the mechanical department, a colleague of Ashish.
Yeah. I think Professor Karadikar was there. All of us were out. Actually.
Yeah, suddenly we were all checked out, and then when we came back, I think there is some issue with the restoration.
Oh, he's there on stage, but I cannot see him. Probably his camera is off.
Might have logged in and would be around.
It's there.
Samir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Professor Karandikar has to be admitted, apparently.
Yeah, I have made him attend. Okay, let me try again.
Okay.
I'll just make him regular attendee and again make him presenter.
Okay.
So, Professor Karandikar, can you please try turning on your mic and webcam? Or if you're not using Google Chrome, maybe that could be the issue.
No.
But he was there actually.
Yes, sir. So that portal is presenter. Waiting area. Now in this, it should work ideally.
No, he's being shown on stage, but he has to be admitted.
Okay, let me try turning on his. It says I don't see his video. It says mute, unmute.
Okay, we can put him out and then we can bring him in again. Okay.
Remove from stage.
Yeah.
Add to stage.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that. We see his name on attendees on stage.
Yeah.
So can you please call and check?
Yeah. So she is not being allowed. That is what director's office just told me. So I think at most 8 persons can be on stage. So one has to
No,
be.
10 can go. 10
Yeah.
can be on stage.
Yeah. Very funny.
No, he joined back again.
Rajiv, I can go out if needed.
No, that's not an issue, sir. Yesterday we had 10 people.
Okay.
I'll just ask the technical person to join, help.
No, he has logged out, I think.
Different system or logging in again.
So I've just sent an SOS message.
Or what we can do is somebody can come down. Maybe Professor Ashokan can just temporarily come down.
Okay, I'll just make him.
Yeah.
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 You can move me.
He's not logged in yet. Maybe he's restarting.
Yeah. Oh, he's coming now. As attendee.
Okay, I'll
You
just.
can bring him on stage.
Yes, I'm doing that. Okay, now, yes, he's here.
Yeah. Good morning. Good
Yeah,
morning.
yeah.
Okay.
I was able to hear all of you, but
Yeah, something went
Wow.
wrong. Anyway, sorry about that. Okay, I think we
Yeah,
can
no
start.
problem.
It's 9:15 already. Yeah. So good morning to everybody, and welcome to IIT Kanpur virtually. It would be nice if you could come to IIT Kanpur and enjoy this beautiful campus, but unfortunately, you're here virtually. Now, we are indeed fortunate to have distinguished guests who are going to inaugurate for the inauguration ceremony. So we have Professor Abhay Karandikar, Director of IIT Kanpur, Professor Santanu Chaudhary, who is the President of the Robotics Society, and he's also Director IIT Jodhpur. We have our chief guest today, Professor Minoru Ashada from the Osaka University. He is the past president of the Robotics Society of Japan, and under him we had started the interaction between India and Japan in the area of robotics. We have Professor Samir Khandekar, who is the head of the Department of Mechanical Engineering at IIT Kanpur. And we have Professor Mongal Kothari, who is the head of the Center for Mechatronics here at IIT Kanpur. The co-chair, Professor Tomohiro Shibata, Kyushu Institute of Technology, will be joining us shortly. So this series of conferences, Advances in Robotics, is the brainchild of the Robotics Society of India, which was formed in 2011. And every 2 years we have the conference, and this is the 5th conference we are having. We started off in R&D Engineers Pune 2011, then BITS Pilani Goa campus. Then it was IIT Delhi, then IIT Madras, and now IIT Kanpur. Yesterday, we started off with the Indo-Japan workshop, where we had speakers from Japan and also speakers from India. And today we have the formal inauguration of the conference. Now, this has become one of the hallmark conferences for Indian robotics. This year, we had about 120 papers, of which we selected 36 for full paper presentation and 18 posters. So acceptance rate is about 45% to 50% each time. And the proceedings are published in ACM Digital Library. So we're already running a little late. So I would like to request Professor Santanu Chaudhary to first address the audience and tell us something about the Robotics Society and this conference. Professor Chaudhary.
Good morning, Ashish. Professor Karandikar, Professor Sada, Mangal, and others present on the dais and present as delegate for this virtual conference. A very warm welcome to AIR 2021. In fact, it's now a flagship conference of robotics in the country. And in a sense, it's an Indian international conference. It's not just restricted within India and Indian participation, but it is global. Global participation, global speakers, papers all across the world, reviewers across the world, and in fact, our program committee has representation, global representation. So it has established that way a very unique character in India. In fact, as Ashish has stated, it started in Pune, then it went to Goa. From Goa to it was IIT Delhi to IIT Madras, and from IIT Madras to IIT Kanpur. So it has therefore also got a pan-Indian footprint. So Robotics Society of India is an active society. In fact, other than this flagship biennial conference, we have regular workshops across the country at different institutions. We also have student branches in different engineering colleges. And also we conduct programs, particularly for the students, so that they really can pick up robotics and become implementer of robots, developer of robots and robotic technologies. Today, with advances in AI, computer vision, robotics has entered a different phase of the career. And it has become at a centered place, not only for industrial applications, for social applications, for defense applications, and even for sustainability. The medical applications we all know, and COVID has actually put us in focus that how robotics can be of great help in managing infectious diseases. And this conference has also got very interesting papers, in fact, starting from locomotion and virtual reality to manipulative design, the entire range of robotic topics are covered in this conference. So I hope all of you would enjoy the conference, and it's first time on a virtual platform. It's a different experience altogether, but it will be nevertheless enriching as usual. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Santanu Chaudhary. Next, I'd request Professor Abhay Karandikar to kindly address the audience.
Thank you, Ashish. Professor Asada, Professor Shantanu Chaudhary, my colleagues, Professor Samir Khandekar, Ashish Datta, and Mangal Kothari. On behalf of IIT Kanpur and also on behalf of Robotics Society, I would like to welcome you all to this conference. As Professor Shantanu Chaudhary mentioned that recent years have seen significant advances in the field of robotics. In fact, robotics is an interdisciplinary field which involves, mechanical engineering, computer science, electrical engineering, and more recently, in fact, even in the bioengineering as well. When we are seeing the advances in bio-inspired robots, we continue to sort of see the usages of robots in manufacturing and industry, but increasingly now robots are being used in the area of health sector and medical sciences as well. So I'm sure that this conference will provide a platform for sharing some of the advances in the field that have taken place. And all of you will benefit by interacting with each other. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we are not going to host this conference on the campus of IIT Kanpur, but I'm sure there will be an opportunity for all of you to meet in person on the campus. I look forward to productive and fruitful interactions amongst all of you. Thank you very much, and once again, welcome you to this fifth international conference of the Robotics Society. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Karandikar. Next, I'd like to request Professor Samir Khandekar, Head of the Department of Mechanical Engineering, to address the audience.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Good afternoon. It's a worldwide conference, so people are spread out, I believe, and Japan is already ahead of us. So good morning, Dr. Asada and Professor Karandikar, Professor Chowdhury, my colleagues, Ashish, Mangal, and the entire team who is behind this virtual platform. I see a beautiful website also, which has been designed by another team. So I welcome you all on behalf of the mechanical department. I think we have at IIT Kanpur in the department, we had a long tradition of working in the broad area of and then also the supplementary areas around it. In fact, we have a very strong pedigree in kinematics of machines. In our department, we have very strong mathematicians and people who are doing analysis. We also have groups working on materials, vibrations, sensors. So it's a very vibrant department. It's not very big, not very small. We have about 42 faculty colleagues right now, and we are on the phase of expansion. So it's a pity that people could not come here. Pune, Goa, New Delhi, Madras, you enjoyed, and Kanpur will always go into the bracket virtual. But I do believe that in the coming Robotics Society will reconsider, bringing all of you back to Kanpur, and we would be very happy to host you at the department. And I believe Ashish might have also thought of some virtual tour if it is possible. Of the campus. Right now, the campus is a little hot, but pretty green, and monsoons are on the anvil. So I can only, describe the beautiful, to virtually imagine it. But nevertheless, we do look forward to a vibrant conference. And on behalf of the Department of Mechanical Engineering, I welcome all the participants, all the students who are the future leaders of this art. And I must say that, my own, I work in thermal sciences, but I can share it today to this society that my first two papers, the first two research papers which I published, they were in the field of robotics. In synthesis of mechanism, my first paper, I remember going to IIT Kharagpur on the NACOM conference, and then followed by some work on orthomorphism of linkages. So this art has always, been very, challenging and enthusiastic, and we have always looked. Many students get very attracted to robotics, and I think as the robotics, Dr. Chowdhury said, it is now shifting from classical kinematics to now more of unmanned vehicles, humanoid robots, and things like that. I am sure this particular conference, the Indian International Conference, so to say, will go a long way in establishing, benchmarks in this direction. I would finally conclude by saying that, as Dr. Karandikar said, robotics has so many facets. And now I think one more facet which is coming in is, ethical value system and, how we do a balance between robotics and our life. So I think I was going through the keynote lectures, and Professor Asada, Professor Fiorini, Professor Jung and Professor Menon will also touch upon this very important aspects. We are now touching the liminality, so to say, between robotics and humans. And I think this conference will go probably a long way in establishing some of the benchmarks. So I wish you all good luck and wish Ashish and all the team, Mangal, and the team behind, which we cannot see on the screen right now, but I'm sure they have worked very hard. Best of luck and have a very nice academic interaction in the conference. Thank you. I wish you all good luck.
Thank you, Samir. Next, I would like to request Professor Mangal Kothari of the Head Center for Mechatronics, which is one of the organizing bodies also, to share his thoughts.
Good morning and good afternoon to everyone. Professor Asada, Professor Chaudhary, Professor Harinder, and my colleagues, Professor Samir Khandeval and Professor Datta. So it's a pleasure to welcome all of you in the virtual conference behalf of Center of Mechatronics, which is organizing this event. So Professor Datta already mentioned the activities what happened in the Center of Mechatronics. So it would have been a great pleasure if we could have directly interacted, but just short description I would like to give the activities which is going on Center of Mechatronics. So we are working on the different platform, which is a build robots, legged robots that include both the biped, Professor Datta is leading, and quadruped. We are working on aerial robotics, so we have a different platform, fixed wing, multicopters, VTOLs, hybrid biplane type vehicles, and we are also working on underwater robotics. So traditionally, like we have a control system, low level controller, which control the motions, but now we have a path plannings that include robustness, uncertainty, and then we deal with the computer visions, perceptions, localizations. So everything's integrated, and we would have loved to show some demonstration of these vehicles. I believe some of things would have been shown yesterday, or during the workshop, we will show some demonstration. If anyone would like to see, please contact me or contact any of us in the organizing team. So we would be happy to show the demonstration. With this, I thanks all of participants for joining the event, and thanks everyone.
Thank you, Mangal, for your kind words. Now, our chief guest, Professor Minoru Ashada, was the past president of the Robotics Society of Japan, under whom the collaboration actually started between Robotics Society of Japan, Robotics Society of India. There is also an Asian Robotics Society, apart from IEEE RAS, Robotics and Automation Society. So we are all integrated in some way. So as Professor Ashada, as chief guest, I would like you to share your thoughts.
Okay, thank you everyone. So it's a great time to share the time with the RSJ people and TS people. And yesterday we have a very nice workshop. The both sides exchange the ideas and also the achievement, and also maybe the future plan, how to collaborate in future and so on. So anyhow, I suppose maybe this is the first step to the collaboration between RSJ and TRS, and also I would like to have some joint research group, and also some, especially the young generation, the students and the junior, researchers exchange, information, and also the travel to each other. At this moment, it is impossible, almost impossible, but maybe in future, we like to exchange the students and the young researchers, and the collaboration to be very, very fruitful. Okay. Anyhow, thank you everyone, organizers and also the participants.
Thank you, Professor Ashada. The first plenary talk is also by Professor Ashada, just after this. So if you have time, I would request that you can stay on. He works in the area of ethical robotics. That is something that is new even to me. So towards the end, it's my honor and duty to thank the organizers and the support. I'd like to thank Professor Karandikar for allowing IIT Kanpur to host the conference, other members of IIT Kanpur who are helping with the organization of the conference, Professor Shantanu Chaudhary, President TRS, who has given his support for organizing the conference at IIT Kanpur and all help from TRS, Professor Ashada from JRS side, the Robotics Society of Japan side, Mangal, Samir Khandekar, others, And yeah, so the program co-chair, Professor Tomohiro Shibata from
Joined.
Japan, he's just here, I think. And he has also helped from the Japanese side in terms of reviews and submitting papers. And the other members who have supported us, IEEE Robotics and Automation Society, UP section, TRS, RSJ, and the other volunteers who are working behind the scenes. Yeah, so with this, I'd like to end, but as Tomohiro is here, Tomohiro Shibata is the program co-chair. So Tom, would you like to say a few things? We are almost towards the end.
Yeah, thank you very much. And so yes, as Sarah said already, so yesterday we had a very good discussion, and today, finally, we are able to have the former RSC president here, and his talk is on relatively, I think, new issues, new topics for the TRS members, so which must be really inspiring. Asada Sensei, thank you very much, and we are looking forward to your great talk, panelist talk. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Then thank you, everybody. Let us move on to the next session, the plenary talk 1 by Professor Munaru Ashada. Thank you. Good morning, and welcome to the first talk by Professor Minoru Ashada. Professor Ashada received his PhD in control engineering from Osaka University in 1982. And since 1997, he has been a professor of the Department of Adaptive Machine Systems at the Graduate School of Engineering, Osaka University. He was the president of the International RoboCup Federation 2002 to 2008 and was the research director of Asada Synergistic Intelligence Project. Since 2018, he has been the administrative director of Symbiotic Intelligence Systems Research Center at the Institute for Open and Interdisciplinary Research Initiatives, Osaka University. Today, he'll be talking to us about autonomy in humans and machines, robot sense of agency, self, pain, and ethics. With these words, Professor Ashada, thank you very much for sparing your time to be part of our workshop yesterday and also part of the inauguration today. We look forward to your talk today. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the introduction of myself. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so the title of my talk today is Autonomy in the Humans and Machines, Robot Sense of Agency, Self-Pain, and Ethics. That's a big title, and I have a big mouth. So actually, the contents of my talk is not really reflect the current activity of the RSJ, but rather maybe some future issues, including the many issues. Okay, anyhow, let's start. So the self-introduction is that currently I have been in the Osaka University so long.
Professor Sensei, I think there is there is one dialogue that is appearing. Another window is shown on the screen.
Really? Oh, sorry. This
Can
one.
you please move
It's
it
okay?
around? Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry, sir. Sorry for that. Okay, so I'm now from this April, I'm the Vice President of the International Professional University of Technology in Osaka. That's a new university from this April. And the number of students is 161 year. So therefore, very small university. But the aim of this university is, to encourage the young generation to be the professional, not simply the expert of the some discipline, but some professional working with the society or something. So therefore, I'm very excited to be the vice president of this university. Also, I have the position in the Osaka University still, in the part-time job. And also, as I was introduced, I'm a former president of the Robotics of Japan and the vice president of the Japanese Society of the Baby Science. So many people are wondering why you are related to baby. My answer is a very simple one. So we like to make the robot much more intelligent. But what's the intelligence? That's a big issue. So the baby development is a good hint for us how to develop the robots. On the other hand, in the baby science, there are many, many mysteries. Therefore, our approach, so engineering, the computer simulations, and the real-world experiment could contribute to the reveal the mystery of the baby science. And also, I'm one of the founders of RoboCup. Okay, let me continue that one. So the product one is the production of the Leonardo da Vinci Android. So actually, as an Android, Professor Hiroshi Ishiguro, my colleague, is very famous for his Android. But before Leonardo da Vinci Android, the Professor Hiroshi Ishiguro's Androids all the time real person exists. But as you know, the Leonardo da Vinci is the person more than 500 years ago. Therefore, we do not have any data on him. So therefore, we conducted with the people in the Da Vinci Museum, Italy, the Milan, Italy, and we decided to design the very senior Leonardo da Vinci. The mechanism is the same as the Android, the Professor Hiroshi Ishiguro's one, and the pneumatic actuator to realize some very soft movement of the facial expressions. So you can see that the very, very sophisticated, facial expression, and also some sort of the reality or something. So actually we have shown, we have showed this Android during the World Expo 2015, that's 6 years ago. And I explained how this Android is working. So actually, this is the video clip at the museum, and actually this is this is a teleoperation. So teleoperator controls the facial expression, and also he has a headset. So inside headset, there are some gyro sensors. Therefore, the movement of the teleoperator immediately copy to the Android. Okay. So therefore, almost real time, this Android can make a conversation with the visitors. So the reason why I created this one is that not for the research purpose, but the encouragement of the language generation. As you know, the Leonardo da Vinci is a pioneer of the interdisciplinary researchers, that the science, the technology, and art. I believe that robotics is consists of many different disciplines. So the Leonardo da Vinci is a pioneer. If he were alive now, he must be the robotics researchers. So another one is the prologue of the RoboCup. As I explained, I'm a founder of the RoboCup. So if I have time, I'd like to explain the RoboCup everything by using 2 hours or 3 hours. But today I have only 1 hour, the 50 minutes or something. So therefore, I just show the video clip here. So unfortunately, the last year we canceled the competition due to the COVID-19. And this year we held the virtually a week ago. Oh no, just a couple of days ago we closed the virtual competition. So anyhow, this shows the video clip of the middle-sized league final between the Chinese team and Dutch teams. The very, very sophisticated technologies are embedded. So everything is automatic. So the top of the robot has okay, I explain. Okay, here is the TV camera, the upwards, and due to the mirror, observe the 360 degrees of the freedom, so omnidirectional vision system. So by using this camera, the robot can find the ball and also the goal and the field line too, and also the mechanism that's also omnidirectional moving. So any direction, the translation and the rotation on this axis. Okay, so this robot and keeps the ball inside the field, And also this shows some teamwork, passing, and shooting. Okay, so that's the very, very exciting situations. So this is 2 years ago in the Sydney, and this is some typical aspect of the RoboCup. So everything is autonomous and very, very high technologies, and also some the relationship between the robots and also the team members. Okay. Okay, anyhow, so the outline of my talk today is like this one: the interactions, the autonomy in humans and the machines. That's some central topic my talk today. And second one, the ideological background of the relation between the human beings and things. And number three is the self and agency, and the pain nervous system is introduced as a key component for the conscious mind, and empathy and neuroscience and summary. So today is just like this. The topics is a very, very some extreme idea of my own. Therefore, not so majority in the RDS side. But anyhow, these issues, I believe that it's a very, very important issues. Okay, so first one, this introduction is that the AI and the robotics now is a very, very exciting area, and a certain of the kind of the autonomy is expected. So it's now time to reconsider the meaning of the autonomy from not only the technological background aspect, but also from more broader perspectives. In this talk, I will show my thought and ideas on the issues from diverse perspectives. The technological one, the robotics, AI, neuroscience, psychology, science, and so on, and philosophical, ethical, legal, and social implications aspect. The aim of this talk is to share the idea to solve the potential issues of the current and the future autonomous robots and systems. So that we aim to design AI and autonomous systems with human capabilities such as abstract thinking and adaptability, and beliefs such as trust and acceptability in mind. So first of all, let's think about autonomy in humans and machines. Suppose that, okay, act according to the given instructions without any thought. Number two, decide to act according to the given instruction without any thought. The number three, decide to act accounting for the dominance or restriction from others and reflecting one's own ideas. So notably, this can appear to be the same as 1 to 4. And number four, decide to act only one's own ideas without accounting for any dominance or restriction from others. Of course, the above is not completely independent of each other. The most AI robots are categorized into one, and the possibility of having autonomy lies in the hands of the designer or programmer. Or, notably, the programmers may also experience of number one with regard to their supervisors. But since the robot in this case does not have any concept of the self as an active agent or the clear conviction that is a module of the decision making, that this scenario can be more collectively categorized as less than one. So if I mentioned the number one, act according to the given instruction without any thought, but the current AI and robotics still not the clear concept of self of the module of the decision making. However, on the other hand, even for humans, free will is only the virtue, and it is clear from the neuroscience that our level of consciousness is constantly being adjusted by various internal processes. That it is difficult to insist that only human beings are purely autonomous, as proposed in the Kant's moral philosophy, which we discuss later. While artificial systems lack true autonomy, clearly the difference between them appears relative. In the early 1970s, Chilean biologists Maturana and Barrera, they proposed some idea of autopoiesis, focusing on the self-creation, including regeneration and self-boundary decisions. If we apply this idea strictly, any artificial system cannot be autonomous, but is instead heteronomous one. However, the computer simulation of the self-creation developed by the Maturana and Barrera is autopoietic system. This is a computer simulation, but while also showing the autopoietic nature. So there's a mixture of them. So it seems possible from the machine programs to exhibit the autopoicity. Furthermore, human beings also sometimes show the heteronomous behavior, while we should be the autopoietic. So the shifting from the sensory motor system of the individual to the social system level, the autopoietic nature in the strict biologic sense is awakened, and that is the meaning may be derived as a more essential or machine shared property. The Varela, especially, he has, he likes the idea of the Michel Foucault and the Merleau-Ponty's idea. He demonstrated the importance of the interaction and communication and calls for autonomy nodes to be updated. So we need some new definition of the autonomy. The machine autonomy could be more authentic if the concept of the self, agency, empathy, and ethics are introduced into the design. So this is a working hypothesis of my talk from now on. So review the ideological background for the relationship between objects and humans. And the concept of the self is introduced and extended to a sense of the agency. And finally, self-consciousness. Hopefully, the working hypothesis is the pain nervous system is a key component for the conscious mind. And through the development of the mirror neuron system, empathetic behavior could be learned. And the possible emergence of the morality and ethical sensations through the empathy by pain inductions. And finally, new ethics for the symbiotic society is introduced. Okay, so the ideological background of my idea is like this one, the relation between humans and the things. So the most ancient person is that the Descartes, the mind, the body dualism, and also the Immanuel Kant. He is the autonomy, but the human-centered one. So these two guys is sometimes, in some sense, too much human-centered, and a clear boundary between the humans and the object. That's the dual mind and the body dualism, or something like this one. On the other hand, these guys is focus on the interaction, especially the human-machine interactions, and also the embodiment. So this guy, the Italian philosopher, the Vico, he was an Italian political philosopher. He mentioned that, so in opposition to the Cartesian analysis and other type of the reductions, and was the first expression of the fundamental the social science of the semiotics. Especially, he mentioned that the principle of the state that truth is verified through the creation or invention and not as a part of Descartes through the observations. So he denied the idea of this one, the Descartes dualisms. But the truth is that they verified through the creation or invention. That's our side. So we created a robot not only for the usage of some sort of function, but also just to reveal the mystery of the humans, the cognitions, and so on. Okay, and also these guys. Yes, I like to. Today I have not so much time, therefore I cannot explain everyone, but especially these two guys very important. The Heidegger's famous notion, the being in the world. The way of the presentary being for each of these entities as situated among others now exist independently but are unified in their existence by the pre-understanding of how each interact in the constitution of the situation characterized by the purposeful activities. This shows that as some sort of the social interactions. As a Merleau-Ponty is a king of the embodiment. The embodiment as additional dimension emerges, in which the flash of the same tangibility as well as the same thickness can be given to both the subject of touching or seeing and the object of the being touched or being seen. So he emphasized on the importance of the embodiment, especially body, connect the subjective experience and the objective world. Especially this book shows that the visible and invisible. So when seeing is regarded as being seen, and touching as being touched. So these, these different modalities of sensation intervene, and their re-entrance through the embodiment is iterated. So all the time interaction is, continuous, and there's a subject mind and the object world are, mixture and something. The body is very important media to connecting the subjective experience and the objective world. So the new definition of the embodiment is like this one. So the natural born cyborgs, the Andy Clark. So mind, technology, and the future of the human intelligence. So maybe we need some new definition of the embodiment. So through the internet, we have some experience of our existence, real existence inside the network, and through the network we can communicate with other people or sometimes other robots and so on. About the social interaction, I like to prefer this one. The mind cannot be understood except in terms of the interaction of the whole organism with external environment, especially the social environment. So he mentioned that the mind cannot be understood except in terms of the interaction. That is, our minds out of our heads, or more, between the bodies and something. So I suppose that if we send some robot to the moon or somewhere in the space, so if robot is the only one, this guy does not need to emerge his mind emerge. But if we send another robot or the human beings there, they need to interact, they need to communicate. Now it's the time to the module like a mind emerge. Okay, so the important issues are self and agency. This shows I just borrowed the neither definition of the self-development. So the neither define the 5 stages of the self-development, but I just borrowed the three from them. So first one is ecological self. That interaction with the environment, the synchronization with the environment. So therefore, some sort of the body image or body schema is one of the topics of this stage. The second one is the interpersonal self. So the interaction with the caregiver, the newborn baby interact with the caregiver is just starting of the interpersonal self. And finally, is a social self. That's the self concept in the social environment established, and easily the agent switch the communication with one person and then the other person something. The physical body in the synchronization is self-other identification, and also desynchronization is self-other separations. So anyhow, so the interaction with the environment or with the caregiver or with other persons is some root of the development of the cell. About the cell, the minimal cell, so the Gallagher proposed this model. The model represents the process that generates the 2 aspects of the minimal cell in normal experience. The first one is match the whole components. It's just this one. So that this is sense of agency. This is a whole comparator. On the other hand, match the feedback. So as a result, what kind of the perception we get. So this is a feedback comparator, provides a sense of the ownership of the movement. So this is a very, very important aspect of the sense of agency and the sense of the ownership of the movement. So this is actually for to explain in terms of the humans or the animals or the biological system. But now we're thinking about this design, this idea to the design of the robot systems. Okay, so another researcher says proposed the architectures. So the agency component is based on the Frisis with a separate complete model and of the schizophrenia, and recently extended to the Bayesian framework. So the test proposes the agency of this one and also the presence this one, and they are some connected to each other, especially the prediction and the prediction error is an important part. Also, the Gallagher's one is that sense of agency and sense of the ownership. Also, the related to the some sort of the prediction and the prediction errors. So the Haggard explained the Gallagher's two aspects of the agency and ownership as a prediction and post-prediction, and called them sense of agency as a whole. And the right figure, this figure combined with says this one and this together. Sorry, to here. Okay, so they have to design of the sense of the agency. The Legacy et al. Proposed the model of the human sense of agency in an interactive situation with the robot that has not been dealt by the Haggard based on the following fact. So that one, so the here et al. Experiment shows that, generally speaking, human sense of agency could be reduced by the existence of others. Similarly, it was reduced by the existence of the robots who appears to have its intention. That's a very important one, who appears to have its intention. So this is the idea of the legacy. Sorry. The coupling of sense of the agency in humans and AI interaction with the first person's FP and the second person SP, the perspective of the sense of the agency. So, okay, so the point is that before, it's the sense of agency defined in not the social environment, just one person in case of the Gallagher's. But the legacy mentions that the self of the agency in the situation of the social interactions. Okay, the AI or human possesses the intrinsic sense of agency in the first person, and in the second person, each has the model of the mental representation of the other's FP. So the human's FP is here. The SP is AI's or the opponent's the first person. And on the other hand, AI has its own first person's sense of agency, and also the second person view is just the first person of the humans, this one. So there's some dilemma is happened. The dilemma is that AI simply demonstrating high sense of agency may reduce the human's sense of agency because the human perceives the AI to be the controlling the humans. So in this case, the humans here and the AI is here. If the capability of the AI is very high, so the human's SP, that's the FP of the AI, is very high. Therefore, first person's sense of agency of human decrease, like this one. The AI upon perceiving the decrease in the human's SOS, sense of agency, then carefully choose its next actions, or perhaps perform no action at all to increase the human's SA. So now, the AI behave that one, my capability is not so high as yours. And then the SP, that is AI's capability is low. So now the human's capability is up, like this one. Sorry. The AI armed with understanding the both humans its own sense of the agency can then better respond to improve rather than erode the human SOA. So that it's a complicated, complex mind that AI system serve to the humans by behaving that the capability of the AI is lower than the humans, but it's very tricky. So AI knows everything. So this is a very, very tricky situation. But anyhow, the idea is that the sense of agency could be defined in the social interaction, and the AI may control its the sense of agency by controlling its behaviors. Okay. So also another guy proposed to define the calculation, the computation of the sense of the agency. The model of the sense of agency in the framework of the optimal Bayesian Q integration with mutually involved principles, namely reliability of the action and the outcome sensory signals, their consistency with the causation of the outcome by action, and the prior belief in the cautions, like this one. But anyhow, so as you can imagine, that this is composed by the prediction and post-prediction. That's the Gallagher's definitions. Actually, because of this definition of the sense of agency, the Gallagher's paper is 2000, but actually just one year before, we published a paper about the multi-agent reinforcement learning. So in this situation, in this study, we propose a state vector estimation, which enables the multi-agent reinforcement learning for the cooperation between the parser and the shooter from the viewpoint of sense of the agency. So the canonical variety analysis is applied to obtain the state vector in terms of the three kinds of targets: a parser, a shooter, a ball, and two goals observed by the shooter. Okay, so the passer tried to pass the ball to the shooter, and the shooter tried to pass the ball to the goal. So some sort of the cooperation between the two agents. So in case of the multi-agent reinforcement learning, it's very, very difficult to define the state space. So therefore, the state vector estimation is applied to define or to obtain the state space for the two agents to learn the passing behavior or the shooting behavior. So this shows the change of the length of the state space. So for example, the ball, goal, and the ball and the passer, and the ball and the shooter. So this is I suppose maybe here. Okay. So historical length is key issues. So for the shooter or the pass for the shooter, so the goal is a static environment. So it's very easy to predict the change of the image if shooter, change their viewpoint to the left to right, image of the goal move to the right to left. So it's very easy. The one shot is sufficient to predict the change of the goal. On the other hand, ball is sometimes shooter kicks the ball, and as a result, ball is rolling. So therefore, it's not simply the one shot, but sometimes acceleration, and sometimes the ball is kicked by the passer. Therefore, the historical length to estimate, to predict the ball movement, we need some four lengths. It's just including acceleration and so on. And also shooter, for the shooter, passer is also where the historical length is much more, because the passer moves according to the shooter's movement, and also shooter moves according to the passer's movement. Therefore, they interact each other. So some sort of the complicated situation happen. Therefore, the shooter and the passer need the more length to estimate, to predict the apparent motions. So actually, the state vector estimation by the local prediction model is how much the agent can predict may correspond to some sort of the sense of the agency in the sense of the Gallagher's. So if the error is small, the learner supposes that the prediction is correct, and the learning proceeds. It means that sense of the agency. The Haggard has dealt with only the minimum cell, and therefore the interpersonal and the social self are the future issues. But outside that, the state vector estimation can specify the spatial temporal structure of its own action in the context of the social behaviors. So we suppose that the sense of the agency should be defined in some social context. So for the Gallagher and Haggard mentioned some no explicit description about the sense of the agency was given. Okay. So these guys, no clear definition of the sense of the agency in the social context. So no measure for essay considering the balance with the other agent of the sense of the agency. if the cooperation between two agents is successful, both of the sense of the agency could be high because of small error. If so, the large error means the lower SOA. Is it true or not? This is an issue related to the attribution of the responsibility, especially in the case that another agent is AI or the robot. So this is some, very important and serious issues for the if the AI fails something. So the auto drive is some typical example of this category. Okay, so to design the sense of the agency or some sort of the conscious mind, I suppose that the pain nervous system is a key component for the conscious mind. Now this shows, just borrowed from the neuroscience textbook. So there are some parallel pain pathways. So two distinct aspects of the experience of the pain. So this is an anterolateral system supplies information to the different parts of the brainstem and the forebrain that contribute to the different aspects of the experience of the pain. Those that are responsible for number one and number two. The number one is that, around here. So that's the, from the anterolateral system. So the first one is the sensor discriminative one. Through the ventral posterior nucleus and the somatosensory areas. Is that one is where and what kind of pain and how long and so on. This is a sensor discriminative. On the other hand, number two, the second one is affective, the motivational one that relates to the memory of the pain. So as you can see that there are two pathways. The one pathway is the ascending the pathway that from the peripheral system to the central nervous system. That's the bottom up the pathway. On the other hand, also the descending pathway is that from the top, from the central nervous system to the peripheral system. For example, the typical example is the gate theory. For example, if you have the pain around here, like this one, so you just rub like this one, okay? So this shows that if something pain situation happen, the signal is go through the pain nervous system. But if you soft touch the pads, so the mechanoreceptor, the normal touch pathway is activated and stop the pain nervous signal of the pain nervous system. That's the bottom up, bottom up interfere or something. But also from top down, so the memory of the pain or prediction of the pain situation, sometimes it reduces the pain, but sometimes it increases the pain. So therefore, anyhow, the descending pathway is an important part of the pain perceptions. So we designed the very, very soft tactile sensors like this one. So you can see that in the soft touch wave is like this one, but the hard touch. So you can easily discriminate from the signal wave. So this is a soft touch or the hard touch of the painful sensations. So therefore, we can easily discriminate the soft touch and the hard touch. Biologically, we have, or genetically, we have the genes of the nociceptive neurons from the beginning. But during the fetus in the womb, so we just developed this system. And some researchers found that some specific neural circuit necessary for the discrimination between touch and the nociception emerge from 35 to 37 weeks gestation in the human brain. Therefore, just before the birth, so the newborn baby or the fetus obtain some perception or discriminate the soft touch and the perception, soft touch and the pain perceptions. So this shows some architecture of some very, very conceptual architecture of the pain nervous system, the early stage of the pain experience. So the touch and the pain by its own and through the vision. So the robot may have some experience of the painful situations and memorize it. And the hippocampus and specific memory of the painful situation of the cell. That's memory. And also the motor area, the pain relief behavior, just avoiding our loving behavior, avoiding all the loving situation. And these through these nervous system, the pathways. Okay. So the pain is the big issues. So some researchers, Ben Seymour, he proposed a pressure signal. He proposed that pain is some pressure signal for the reinforcement learning and control. The core function of the pain is a motivational one to direct both short and long-term behavior away from harm. A reinforcement learning model, pain as a precise and objectifiable control signal. So he proposed some very hierarchical structure of the very peripheral and the bottom of the perception, the signal, and also the top area is that some sort of memory and some trauma and so on and so on. Okay, so now we switch to from the based on the pain nervous system. Of course, I just mentioned some very preliminary idea of the pain nervous system, but we have not designed, we have not implemented yet. So next one, the empathy and the new ethics. So the millennium system is, as you may know, originally found in the monkey's premotor cortex and discharge both when executing the action and also when observing the same action performed by the other individuals. So this is a very important modules for the humans and the animals to understand the other's action and the intention based on the self-motor representations. So, well, today I'd like to introduce a study about the development of the millennium system by using the predictive learning for the predictive learning. The predictive learning is to integrate the sensory motor signals and enable the robot to recall own motor experience while observing others' action as well as to produce the actions. So now the robot is here, and the task is the reaching the ball to the left, center, and right. And this guy has a vision module and tactile sensation, touching the ball or not, and the motor command. This is some sequence of the joint angles. And we use some deep autoencoder like this one. And then, okay, okay. And then the predictor using the deep autoencoder action production is run to reconstruct the visual void, tactile U, and motor signals M. The action observation predicts void using the imaginary U and M as well as the actual void. So more accurate prediction of the void. So okay, in the running phase, so the autoencoder is memorize some vision, the tactile, the motor together. Then after the learning and the execution process, only the vision observed. This is the prediction of the image of this one. And by using the vision, observing the other's motion, the motion and vision and tactile and the motor signals is evoked, memorized, evoked, and then so imaginary, the agent can imagine what kind of behavior the agent should do or something. So this shows some predictive coding based on the millennium system. So the agent can predict or can understand other's movement. So not only the action, but also the sensation and the perception, the touching side. So some researchers found that the secondary but not the primary sensory motor cortex is activated both when the participant were touched and when they observed someone or something else getting touched by object. So the millennium system, we usually suppose that only the movement, but also were not only the movement actions, but also the perception. So we apply this idea to the perception of the pain. So through the millennium system, I suppose that so the robot, the artificial agent, can perceive the pain in others. That's some beginning of the morality. And also the memory of the pain is a big issue. So someone says that transition from acute to chronic pain and render the pain more emotional one. So the acute pain is just a physical one, the physical interaction, physical pain. But the combat translation from acute to the chronic pain is more emotional one, not the physical one, but the mental ones. And also the chronic pain is a type of the state of memory. So the pain itself is the beginning of the memory system. So that's still the big issues. Then I just extended the inward the virtual, the conceptual architecture of the pain nervous system to share the pain experience. So in this case, through the development of the mirror neuron system, so the agent first experiences its own experience of the painful situation, and then memorize. And then next one is observes the similar situation of others, and then to evoke the painful situation, it's inside the brain, and take some action to the pain behavior, avoiding or loving something, and also the memorizing. Actually, the empathy has a very a long history of the evolution process. So the Franz de Waal mentions that some evolution of the empathy. So we mean that, so as a non-human primate or as animals, we share or some sort of the emotional contagion first, and sympathetic concern, consolidation, and finally the empathy, in part with some imitation, such as motor mimicry, according shared goals, and through imitation emulations. But I focus on this axis. So through the evolution of the empathy, increase the self-other distinctions. So I utilize this one to do some conceptual model of the empathy development, starting the mirror neuron system and the self-awareness and passive taking, theory mind, the mentalizing, and so on. So this shows a very conceptual image of the internal state. So this shows us internal state of the self, the robot or the agent, and somehow something different but very close to the own situation, own state is coupled. In this case, some emotional contagion happen, and through the self-awareness, so this representation is separated like this one, this emotional empathy. So the self has its own self, the internal state, and also this indicates the estimate of or inference of the other states, just inference, not a real one, of course. And through the passive taking, or several mind, the mentalizing, the cognitive empathy, so clearly, separated. And through the emotional regulation, some of the sympathy and the compassion happen. So at the beginning, it's the same. So the internal state of the agent is as same as the estimate of the other agent internal state. And then the self or agent change the internal states, and the sympathy and the compassion happen. From this, through the emotional regulation, next stage, the inside, outside, in-group, out-group cognition. That's the MB and shallow fraud, or some the metacognition like this one. About some other moralities. So the Joshua Green proposed some the book, The Moral Tribes, and he mentions that we, the human, has two modes of the moral behaviors. One is auto mode for inside the group. Inside means the friends, the families, and the town, the village, and so on. And the manual mode, he mentioned also the manual mode, well, not against, but outside the manual mode for the outside the group. So in this situation, the inside outside the group is against each other, but the Joshua Green mentions that the human brain's manual mode is its capacity for the deliberate reasoning, which makes our thinking flexible. Our point and shoot emotions make our social animals, turning me into us. So he mentions that we should have the two modes. One is auto mode for the inside group, but also we need some manual mode or the outside group. But the bloom against the empathy, the case of the relational compassion. So the auto mode for inside the group is too much focused, ignoring all others. So he focused on the auto mode. So it's not all bad, but still I stand first. On balance, empathy is a negative in human affairs. It's not the cholesterol, it's a sugary soda, tempting and delicious and bad for us. Now I'll tell you why. So sometimes in a war, the typical example is we just focus on the war, some situation or some accident. So some kids or the boy was died by the shot of some vaccine or something, and then many people suppose that stop the vaccine, but by this effect, if stop the vaccine, we cannot save the million of the kids or something. So therefore, he mentioned that auto mode sometimes really auto mode, but we should stop. So these the two ways, I suppose that I like to propose the psychopathy, the beyond moral tribes. The evolutionary and developmentally, the cognitive empathy after the emotional empathy, the former includes the latter, and the sympathy after emotional cognitive empathy, the former includes as the latter. Therefore, I like to propose the psychopathy, so the adaptive emotional regulation between empathy and sympathy. So no discrimination between the in-group, out-group, or in-global group. As Joshua Green mentioned that, so we have the two modes, auto mode and the manual mode, and the Blue mentioned that some warning about the case of the relational compassion. So I suppose I like to believe that I like to propose the psychopathy, the artificial agent beyond this constraint. Okay, so therefore I expect that the psychopathy is one of the issues for the AI and the researcher to design. Okay, this one. Of course, at this moment, I have no idea how to design psychopathy, but that's only the conceptual idea. Okay. So the new ethics. So I like to introduce the Peter Paul Verbeek. It's the philosopher in the Netherlands. He has been focusing on the philosophy of the human-technology relations and aims to contribute to the philosophical theory, ethical reflection, and practice of the design and innovations. The most influential book among his publications is the Moralizing Technology, Understanding and Designing the Morality of the Things. So in which he pointed that the morality is not just in the human users of the technology, but in the interaction between us and our machines. So far the morality is just on the human side, but with in the symbolic society with the most advanced AI and robots, so the morality should be inside of the interaction between us, interaction between the humans and the technologies, advanced machines. So he pointed out how ethics can be practical in the most advanced society. So he referred to the virtual ethics. So Michel Foucault focused on the virtual ethics by Julia Annas, and Peter Paul Verbeek extended this idea, considering the most advanced technology as one of the main components of the proposed structures. So Peter Paul Verbeek mentioned that technology shapes our actions and the world experience, and by doing so, is actively involved in the way we live, and proposed his new ethics, not should be, but like to be with new technologies. So he mentioned that we should have, intentionality with the advanced technology to observe or to the future and so on. Okay, so the psychopathy beyond the moral tribes like this one, the artificial agent, the artificial pain, or the human agent, or the biological system, the biological pain, and some sort of the empathy and the sympathy. So the psychopathy include the empathy, sympathy both together. And the new ethics in the human side include also both one. And as a result, we may have some universal world agents, the humans and also the artificial agent too. Okay, so this is a summary and the future issues. The difference of autonomy between humans and machines appears a relative one. But machine autonomy could be more authentic if the concept of self, agency, empathy, and ethics are introduced into the design. The principle states that truth is verified through the creation or invention and not as a per Descartes through the observation. That's a because statement. So creation is one of the way to solve the issues. The robot self and its agency should be based on the human's one. But therefore, we need to know how the humans or how the biological system design itself and the agency, the concept of self and agency. The pain nervous system is a key component for the conscious mind. The robot can discriminate between the touch and pain, and memory of pain is still a big mystery. The constructive approaches are necessary to reveal and to realize in robots. But based on the mirroring system development, robots may feel pain in others, the beginning of the empathy. The proto-morality after showing pain experience may emerge. And the generalization and expansion of the pro-morality should be done through the meta-learning in the different social context. And new ethics is needed for the symbiotic society with AI robots who may have the psychopathy, a big potential towards a universal agent. So today's talk is not only myself, but also special thanks to the Professor Yuki Nagai, Lecturer Hisashi Ishihara, Assistant Professor Takumi Kawasetsu, and Lecturer Taka Hori, and all other lab members. And thank you for your attention.
For your very inspiring talk. Now, if there are questions for Professor, please type in the Q&A section, the question answer section, okay, so that we can read and we can answer the questions. Now, Professor Ashada, thank you very much for your very, very interesting talk. You gave us the history, and you also told us where we are. Now, I have a few questions for you.
Yes.
The first is that it's very interesting that you spoke about baby science.
Oh, yeah.
That we are learning from babies and trying to model baby behavior by using computer programs.
Yes.
Right? That is one. Now, in terms of how do you assess a machine in terms of SOA?
SOA, yes.
So if a machine has SOA, how, or it does not have, how would you assess that? It's to me, it's something like the Turing test. If a machine is intelligent or it is not intelligent, how do you know?
Okay, thank you. Thank you for a very, very important and serious questions. I'd like to answer the second question first. So the ethics is a big issues. And I expect that some sort of the morality, some proto-morality inside the robots. And then this proto-morality develop to some sort of the module of some sort of the, how do you say, some ethical code like this one. So of course, the robot should have some capability of the symbolic learning and also symbolic emergence and so on. But anyhow, I suppose that so the embodiment with pain is some necessary condition for the artificial agent to have the very, very basic preliminary concept of the pain. And then by sharing the pain with others, the robot may have may feel the pain in others as a robots or as agents, that's humans. And then gradually happens some sort of the idea of the morality and ethics. Of course, this is in a story. And the science fiction or Japanese cartoon often differ this story. So the robot may feel the pain in others and so on. So my idea is, from the beginning, okay, genetically, we embedded the biological system. We have some neurons of the nociception, and this nociception developed to the pain nervous system from the beginning. After the birth, we have already have the pain nervous system. Therefore, one of the idea is that from the beginning, the baby robots may have the pain nervous system from the beginning, and then to learn what's the pain, what's some painful situations. So, of course, about the pain, many people are against. Robots should not have the feeling of pain because, they should work, but if they have a pain, they cannot work, they do not work or something. But my idea is some very, very, how to say, thought experiment. How the AI system or the artificial system may have the feeling of the pain or not, or by using a feeling the pain or sharing the pain, some beginning of some morality or something. Of course, this is just story. So therefore, I have not exact idea how to design yet. So this also same as the first answer to the first question. About the baby development, we have some simulation of the brain development. So my colleague, Professor Yasuo Kuniyoshi, his group embedded the simulation of the brain development of the fetus with body. So the body and the brain interact each other, and the body movement affect some development of the neuron development, neural development inside or some mutually. So the idea or the computational architecture of the baby development, the one of the idea is that so we have many neurons and the body together and develop each other. Actually, the Professor Yasuo Kuniyoshi's group published a paper about the simulation of the fetus development, and their simulation shows that the preterm baby may have some deficit of the cognition of the body image. So of course, that's a simulation, sometimes quite different from the real situation, but very, very suggesting. So therefore, the one of the program of the baby development is coupling the body and the brain together and some simulation of the neural development. So that's one idea. So another one is that we realize some baby robots. Actually, today I have shown the, this one. This guy. So the reason why we designed a more realistic baby robot is that we like to study about the interaction between the human caregiver and the babies. But the real baby, we cannot control anything. Therefore, we need some, the baby robot we can control to study how the human caregiver react to the baby robots. So we have a very interesting result, not published yet, but the caregiver usually like some speech or the baby developed or directed speech, of the infant-directed speech, IDS. And also the human caregivers show the robot-directed speech, a little bit different from the idea, and so on. So therefore, I suppose maybe there are many different ways to study about the baby development. Sometimes from the beginning, the neural development. Sometimes we utilize these baby robots to study and so on. So therefore, there are many different ways to study about the baby science. Did I answer to the question?
Yes, thank you. I have many more questions, but I think others can also ask. So I'll just ask one question, which is, you're using the word brain and the word mind.
Mm-hmm.
In AI, there is a difference between them.
Okay. The mind is just a phenomena, a kind of phenomena from the brain, but not only the brain, but the brain and the body together.
Okay. Yes.
So that's an embodiment. Yes, the mind is kind of the phenomena. The mind is for me, it's the same as a consciousness. The consciousness is also the phenomena. So phenomenal. So therefore, the body and the brain, the interaction. So the conscious mind or consciousness emerge. So there are some computer theory of the integrated information theory by I forgot his name, but anyhow. So that's some computer theory of the consciousness. So we just borrowed this idea to the neural development. Okay. Anyhow, today I have not so much time. I need to stop.
Okay. Thank you. There are some questions. You can answer them whenever you have time.
No, of course I have time. Yeah.
Okay. Is it okay today? There are some questions. Will you answer them now, or you would like to answer them later?
Anytime.
Okay. So in the question answer session, there are questions. I think you can read, right?
I have no button question answering. I was just this window.
Okay. So
I cannot see. Okay, sure. Go ahead.
I'll just read the question. So question one is how to tackle privacy issues while learning from humans.
Wow, that's another very serious issue. So actually, I have another research group is a legal system. So how to treat the AI, the privacy issues in the legal system, and they argue that for the robotics designers, we just put to prevent information going out. So that's our side. So that's technologically, but at the same time, we need some sort of the constraint from the legal systems, both together. So therefore, the privacy issue is very, very essential issues. And also, that's a big argument about how to treat the privacy inside Japan. And also we have some international research, joint research with England, UK. So they have their own policy about the privacy. The Japanese side, also we have our own issue of the privacy, the policy. And both not exactly the same. The difference happen. Therefore, it's very, very delicate issues, how to design, how to treat some privacies. But anyhow, we should have some technical method to prevent the privacy issues going out. And also at the same time, some legal system we need to prevent such kind of situations. Did I answer the question? I'm not sure.
Yes.
That's what I can answer at this moment.
Okay, that is another interesting question. The idea of pain in robots is very interesting, but won't pain prevent robot operations in tough situations?
So say again. Sorry, say again.
The idea of pain in robots is very interesting.
Okay.
But won't pain prevent robot operations in tough situations?
So the question is the pain nervous system sometimes prevents some normal operation of the robot. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay. All the time, the same question I have. So my answer is very, very tricky one. I do not intend all kinds of robots should have the pain nervous system, but some interaction, some robots that who need to interact with the senior people that in Japan, as you know, Japan is very, very high aging society. So many, many senior people living alone in the countryside. Therefore, some robots, it's necessary to communicate with them. So in that case, I believe that so the robot should have some real, real, feeling of the empathy. So in that sense, so the pain is necessary. So not simply some physical pain, but also the mental pain. So the perceived mental pain in adults is necessary for the communication robots who need to communicate with senior people living alone in the countryside.
Okay, thank you. So Professor Shibata has a question, I think. Shibata Sensei, you have a question?
Yes. Have you because since Asada Sensei tried to understand, so I know he's really interested in to understand some brain mechanism and also mind mechanism. And have you ever worked for medical application, such a rehabilitation? I'm asking this because Ashishi also has been working in rehabilitation area.
Okay, actually, my own group, we have not touched such an issue, but in the CLEST group, some medical doctor of the psychopathy is dealing with some applied idea of the some brain mechanisms. For example, the ASD people, for the difference of the brain mechanisms. For example, the ASD people are supposed to be the local connection too much, and the global connection is not so much. Therefore, they are so difficult to think about the globally. But it's very, very good at the local connections, counting the number and so on. So the idea is that, so we're supposing that some brain mechanisms or some sort of brain neural development in the simulation sometimes shows some, reveal the mystery of what's happened in the ASD people. And also, we like to apply this kind of the result to the real situation. I'm not a doctor, medical doctor, but in the group, there's some medical doctor there. So in future, not yet, but in future, we like to apply this kind of idea to care these people.
Okay, thank you very much. That will be wonderful. Yeah, I'm looking forward to. Yeah,
Thank you. So we have time for one last question. So one last question is, it seems like there are cultural impacts when we talk about mind and brain. What are your thoughts on it?
Oh, as you know, in Japan, or many Japanese people supportive that Buddhist, but actually not. But the idea is, some sort of the coherent. So, so the brain and mind. So, for example, in the Europe and in the US, individual is very, very clear. Individual definition. So the person A and the person B and the person C and so on. But in Japan, we like to think about as a whole. So it's everything together, like this one, with nature, something. Okay, let me explain one story. So about the Everest, the climb up the Everest, a very high mountain. So the English term is to conquer the Everest. But for the Japanese people, we not utilize the conquer to the nature. The nature is not targeted to conquer. Nature is the object to involve in the mind. So that's some difference, cultural difference between the European and also the Asian. But I'm not sure how the Indian people think. But I suppose maybe close to the Buddhist or something.
Yes.
Yeah, therefore, we are thinking about as a whole all the time, and also involve the nature inside. The bonsai is a small garden. It's a very small tree, small river. And that's a bonsai. That's some typical example. The nature involve the nature inside the mind. That's some typical aspect of some cultural difference of the mind or the brain and so on. Did I answer to the question?
Yes, I think you have answered. So I think we have to start the next session. So we'll end here. So thank you, Professor Ashada, for your very interesting talk, a very futuristic.
Thanks so much.
We look forward to your support in the next couple of years as we go along.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Ashada Sensei. Thank you. So we start the next session now. That is technical session number 1. So the speakers may please come on stage for the first technical session.
Do you have any break in between, or will directly start?
It'll take 15 minutes break is there.
Okay.
So we will start at 11 o'clock, and in this 15 minutes, we'll bring the speakers on stage.
Okay,
So,
we'll set up.
Yeah, so Rajiv will project the names of the speakers and the paper titles and the time schedules.
Yes, sir. I'll just.
Yeah.
Okay, so should I go to the full screen?
Yeah, you can, and then you can refresh the stage also.
1 second. Okay, so these are the paper, and I'll just try to add the participants.
Yeah.
So Ranjan Das Gupta, Aishwarya Rao, Prayak Sharma, Shubhi Katiyar, Sarfaraz. I couldn't see him online. If Sarfaraz Ahmad or anyone from paper ID 83 is there, kindly raise your hand. Even in the full paper, it mentioned as one author.
Okay, what was the name?
Paper ID 83, Sarfaraz Ahmad.
Okay.
Somehow CMT is not working today, I think. I was trying to log into CMT to get some information. Somehow I'm not able to go.
Sir, you may want to announce about the award.
No, so yeah, just no. This session is now it is available to all the participants, or all they are in the lobby now.
No, everyone is here only.
Oh, okay.
We are not going to the lobby.
Sarfaraz?
I couldn't locate him, sir.
I think Ashish is trying to contact.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, he's coming. He was thinking he'll come only at 12:20.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so I think Ashokan can take over, right?
Yeah,
you can
I'll
tell
just
whatever.
send one file to him. Ashokan, sir.
I've sent it yesterday already.
No, there's one evaluation file I just created.
Okay, okay.
I
So-
marked you on copy.
So
Yeah, I got it.
presentation is 14 minutes and question answer session can be on the question answer. They can type.
So this is
So we'll wait till 11.
Yeah, till 11,
10,
yes.
10 more minutes, we'll just wait.
Yeah, everybody is not there, right?
No, we just have Surfer. We need Surfaraz. Once he is online, I'll just add him.
Yeah. So 14 minutes presentation and maybe 3 minutes of question answer. So we can announce that in the
so
beginning.
Rajiv, the file which you sent include all the details, no?
It has 3 slides. First slide has paper ID and details and all, and also the marks to be given.
No. Then I think I am opening a wrong
Okay,
file.
just now I sent.
Slides projection.ppt, you know?
No, that is another. Just now.
Oh, okay. So this old one.
It would have been session chair.
Sent to my email, I mean Gmail
IIT
or
Madras. IIT Madras.
Okay, it's yet to come, but it's okay. I think it's not yet come, but this basically for the evaluation, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
And
so,
it
but
also has the
Ashish,
abstract.
Ashish, would you like to announce the award part? I'm not sure whether participants know about it.
Yes. So we can announce. So we have two awards. One is Best Paper Award, right?
Yeah.
From TRS side, we have one Best Paper Award, right?
Yeah.
And from RSJ side, they have one, I think, on Indo-Japan Award.
Yes.
That is in the area of
That is on a
rehabilitation.
theme. That is basically on a theme based, no?
That is on rehabilitation robotics.
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe in the form we can mention that also, Rajiv.
Okay.
Whether coming under the rehabilitation part or not, because that needs to be separately marked. Otherwise, we'll have to ask Tom to go through and then decide also.
Yeah.
No, is it only rehabilitation or it is on humanitarian something?
Yeah, it's humanitarian robotics, which actually include this. I mean, it could be rehabilitation or it could be something more closer to the humanitarian, rescue robot, things like that.
Okay, so we can call it humanitarian robotics only.
Yeah.
So in remarks, shall I just add related to humanitarian robotics in the heading?
Yes.
Or you want me to add one more column which says related to human and then they say yes?
Yeah, that's also okay.
Okay, I'll just do that.
I got your mail just now. Yeah, I got the mail, Rajiv.
Okay, sir.
So in this case, I will just add that. I'll add one more column.
Yeah, related to humanitarian robotics.
Yeah, question mark.
Okay, so should I make the announcement or Ashokan can make the announcement for the awards?
You can make us.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so good morning to all the participants. So we'll start our first technical session at 11 o'clock. That's just 5 minutes more. So please ensure that you have only 14 slides and you complete within 14 minutes. Okay, please do not exceed time. Now, if there are question answers, the participants can type the question answers, the name of the speaker, and or the paper number and the question. Okay, so after the speaker finishes the presentation, he or she can look at the question answer. Whatever is the question answers, they can answer the question answers. Okay, in the next 3 minutes. Okay, that is the way we'll proceed. Now, all the speakers are on stage. I think one person is still pending. Now, please
yeah,
ensure
he has
that.
come. I'll just add him.
Okay. Okay. Now, general information to all is that from the Robotic Society of India, we have one award, which is the Best Paper Award. Okay, so each of the presentations will be graded by the session chair based on the technical content, presentation, question answers, and other parameters. That is one award, and that is for the Best Paper Award. Now, there is another award which is by RSJ, Robotic Society of Japan, which is on humanitarian robotics, best paper in the area of humanitarian robotics. Okay, so if you're in that category, you'll be graded also. Okay, so there are two awards for this conference. One is Best Paper Award, and the other is the Humanitarian Robotics Paper Award. Each session has a session chair. This session chair for technical session 1 is Professor Ashokan T. He is the head of engineering design department at IIT Madras. Okay. So, Professor Ashokan, it's up to you. It's over to you.
Yeah. Good morning. Thank you very much. Thanks to all the participants who are attending the conference. I hope you are enjoying the conference. As mentioned by Ashish, this is one of the flagship conference of the Robotic Society. And this is the 5th edition of the conference. And during the last 10 years, AIR has established as an important conference in India and abroad for robotics, or as exclusively for robotics. Many conferences which actually have robotics as one session. We have full conference robotics in India, which is having a lot of traction also. So if you are presenting a paper in this conference, that means you are doing a good job in robotics, and the work is worth presenting to an international community. So first of all, congratulations to all those authors who are presenting in this conference as a full paper or a poster. You are doing good, and you need to continue the work, and then make sure that your passion for robotics continues, and you contribute to the robotics field. So we'll be starting the session in another 4 minutes. So I will wait till 11 o'clock. But maybe I can.
Sir, can you just check the speakers if they can share very quickly?
Yeah. So maybe we can actually just have a check of everyone. For Mr. Ranjan Dasgupta, can you just try to share your slide and see whether you are able to share it?
Yeah. Good morning, all of you. So, am I audible to all of you?
Yeah, volume is slightly low. Maybe you speak a bit louder.
Okay. Is it okay right now? Okay. So I'm trying to share my screen.
And you would like to see your video also instead of the audio. I mean the photo.
Okay.
Can you switch on the video?
Yeah, I have activated the video.
Okay. Yeah. So can you try to share your slide?
Yes, Professor.
I hope all the presenters are using Google Chrome. If not, then you may have to log out quickly and again come back. Yeah, let me stop sharing. You can see yours.
Okay, so Ranjan Dasgupta, yes, we are able to see the slides.
Yeah, I'm going to presentation mode.
Yeah, that's okay. It looks good. Yeah, so you can now stop sharing, and maybe Aishwarya Rao can.
Hello. Good morning, everyone.
Your voice is too low. Can you either use a microphone closer or increase your sound?
Yeah. Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can everyone hear me?
No, your volume is too low. I mean, away from the microphone.
I think.
Yes, you can speak loudly. We can go to the next person.
Yeah. So Prayag Sharma, can you try?
Prayag, where is he? He was there some time back.
Yeah, he's there. I think he has some difficulty with the network. Prayag, are you there?
Okay, Prayag, we can see.
Yeah, okay. Fine. Shubhi Katia.
Hello. Very good morning, sir.
Yeah. Can you share your slide?
Yeah, sure, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Are you able to have a look on the slide?
Yeah, we can see that. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay, Sarfaraz Ahmad.
You please unmute, Sarfaraz.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Please share the screen.
Okay. Good morning, everyone.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, sir. I'm sharing my screen. Okay, sir. I'm trying.
Sir, is it audible now? Hello.
Actually, just 1 minute. Yeah, we can hear you, but not. You have to speak louder.
Okay.
Sarfaraz, yes, we can see your screen. Okay, good. Okay, maybe Aishwarya, can you try? Yeah, okay. But your volume, okay, can you speak?
Hello?
Yeah, bit slightly low volume, so you need to speak louder, okay, when you are presenting.
Okay.
All right, okay, you can unshare now. We'll go to the presentation. Okay, we'll start the session. So once again, welcome to all the participants who are attending the fifth edition of Advances in Robotics 2021. So this is the first technical session. I hope you enjoyed the inaugural talk by Professor Asada. So this session, technical session 1, is on kinematics, dynamics, control, and simulation of robotic systems. So we have 6 papers in this session. The session participants or the presenters are Ranjan Das Gupta, Aishwarya Rao, Brian Sharma, Subir Katiyar, Sarfraz Ahmed, and Kumar. So are the 6. So one is who is missing in the photo here currently? Prayag is there, I think. Prayag, please switch on your video so you can be available during the whole session.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so,
I'm in some bandwidth. If you can allow me to, for some time, till the network gets fine.
Okay, fine. Yeah, no problem. So be available in the session. Right, Mr. Ranjan Das Gupta to start the presentation. So please introduce yourself briefly from where you are and what is your primary research area. And you can go to the presentation. As mentioned, you will be getting only 14 minutes to make the presentation, and then we'll have question and answer session. Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Ranjan Das Gupta, you can start now.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Good morning, all of you. I am working in TCS research, and primarily I am looking for robotics and autonomous system lab. Let me share my screen once again. Are you able to see the screen?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So today I'm going to talk about my work, which is primarily known as adaptive attitude tracking control of a state-constrained quadrotor in the presence of inertial parameter uncertainties. So the basic motivation is that we have designed an adaptive attitude control system where we consider the inertial parameters is completely unknown, right? And also we consider state constraint in terms of attitude. So this is the outline of the paper. First, we should talk about quadrotor system model, then followed by the design, and then stability analysis, and finally, we have some simulation result. So this is the scope of the work. Actually, today quadrotor systems are normally not only used for aerial imaging, right, or surveillance systems. So nowadays, aerial robots are mostly used for different type of interactions with the environment. So aerial manipulation is one of them. So in that particular case, actually, this problem is very much dominant because there is a frequent change in the center of gravity for which the initial parameters will become completely uncertain, which actually destabilize the rotational dynamics. So in this work, actually, not only we talk about or we consider about the uncertainty, we design an adaptive attitude control which ensured the robustness against this uncertainty of the inertial parameters. And as well as we actually use some state constraint control functions, which is known as symmetric barrier Lyapunov function, which actually prevents so that the attitude will not be beyond the limit. So this is the quadrotor system model. If you see, it is one is the normally the inertial frame, and another is the body frame, right? So this is XW, YW, ZW is the inertial frame, and XV, YB, ZB is the body frame. Now, if you see, this is the entire Euler-Lagrange dynamics. So we have a inertia term, so mass inertia matrix followed by a Coriolis matrix, and then the gravitation. And on the right-hand side, we have the force and torque vector. But you see there is a parameter which is called matrix, which is called H. This is actually indicates that it is an under-actuated system, because we already know that the system has 6 degrees of freedom, but it has only 4 inputs. And these are all the respective state definitions. And these actually we divided into 2 systems. One is called position subsystem and another is called attitude subsystem.